so, but hey, we'll just, go with what we're given. So everybody's well. Good. So let's just sit with the eyes closed. Just bringing focus onto your natural breath. Just observing the quality of the breath. Observing the relationship that that breath has with your body. Just allowing with each exhalation any tension to release. And that can be mental tension, emotional, physical. Let it go. Just releasing patterns of thoughts in the mind. Letting go of the day, whatever's been going on. Just giving yourself this 75 minutes to be completely present in your body. Letting go of any expectations you might have from this body today. Because this body today might be very different to yesterday's. And the flow that we're moving through is pretty similar to last week's. And again, your body might be very different to last week. Just releasing the expectations and set yourself the intention of just being present in each part of the flow, each transition. So we're not just focusing on being in a posture, getting to the next posture. We're really taking that focus and being in the moment with each transition as we work into the posture. Being present in each part of the posture and each transition as we flow to the next. When we practice like this, when we practice mindfully, which is all this is practicing a mindful embodied practice, we are in the body, and the mind, there's no space for it. There's no space for the judgment. There's no space for the criticism. It doesn't have room to creep in because we are so in the moment, in the present, which is the only time that matters, that the mind has no time to tick, 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 tick. So if you find yourself wandering off in thought, it's very hard to disconnect from that completely. Don't beat yourself up. Just let it go. Come back completely into the present moment. We use the breath as a tool for that. We use the sensations in the body as another tool. They give us things to focus on. So that monkey mind that chatters away non-stop can't get in. So if you want to practice with Ujjayi breath, you can introduce your Ujjayi breath. If you want to keep just a steady breath in and out through the nose, then that's okay too. But just come forwards onto all fours and start to move straight into your cat-cow. So try keeping your eyes closed here. Really keep that gaze internal and feel. The more we feel our bodies, the more subtle sensations we feel, the stronger our connection. So these little movements that we appear to go through time and time again are actually so important. They're just bringing us back into our body. When we time the movement with the breath, it turns into a moving meditation. So we use the length of the inhalation to extend, to lift the chin, to really extend the spine. And then we use the length of the exhalation to round, taking our time. We're in no hurry to get anywhere. It's all about the transitions. And then start to circle your hips. And change the direction of your circles. Good. And then coming back into a neutral spine, walk your hands forwards on the mat, hand length. Tuck the toes under. So bring your shoulders forward, so you rock your weight forwards, shoulders over the wrists, tummy button back towards the spine, and then press into the feet and hover the knees an inch off the mat. Find that little lift through Mula Bandha, that activation through Uddiyana Bandha. Pushing away through the hands, drawing that energy back up the arms through Hasta Bandha. And feeling through the feet with Pada Bandha. And observe the breath. Observe the sensations. This is a point where your mind will start going, nope, can't do it anymore, really need to get out. How much longer have I got to be here? Can't do it. Ignore it. Just stay with the sensations and the breath. Good. Then taking one last deep breath in. On the exhale, push back into your downward dog. Just allowing the head to relax. Settle the feet. Get rid of any tension from your neck and your jaw. Good. And then find stillness in the posture and breathe. Find that steady flow of either your natural breath or your Ujjayi breath. And walk your feet to the top of the mat, coming into Uttanasana. Allowing the head to hang. Walk the hands around to the right side of the mat, just pushing that left sitting bone back. Take it round to the shins if it won't hit the mat. and walk to the left side. If your hands don't comfortably hit the mat, then just take hold of the shins. Yeah, so Anna, push that right hip back even more. Yes. And then come back to the center. Bring your hands onto the backs of your hips. And on your inhale, come up to standing. Bring your arms down by your side into Tadasana. But inhaling, floating the arms up, so lengthen as you lift. Exhale, forward fold to Uttanasana, hands alongside the feet. Inhaling, look forwards to your flat back. Exhaling, step back, chaturanga, or knees, chest and chin. Inhaling to upward dog or cobra. Exhale, back to your downward dog and hold. Good. On your inhale, step forwards, coming into your flat back. Exhaling, fold down to Uttanasana. So really feel the spine move as you fold. Inhaling, rise up to standing Urdhva Hastasana. Root down through the feet as you lengthen up through the fingers. Exhale, hands to the heart center. Inhaling, floating your arms up. Exhale, swan dive forwards to Uttanasana, working the hands back alongside the feet. Inhale to your flat back. Exhale, step back, chaturanga, or knees, chest and chin. Inhale to upward dog or cobra. Exhale, back to your downward dog and hold. On your inhale, step forwards, come into your flat back. Exhaling, fold down to Uttanasana. Inhaling, rise up to standing, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhaling, hands to the heart center. Inhaling, float the arms up. Exhale, swan dive forwards to Uttanasana. Work the hands back alongside the feet. Inhaling, flat back. Exhale, step back to plank and hold. So just observe for a moment what's touching the mat. What is going on with that? These are often our laziest bits. We dump the weight. So bring your focus to your feet. Spread your toes. Get Pada Bandha working. Push back through the four corners of the feet. See if you can almost lift the tips of the toes away from the mat. So staying in plank, they won't actually lift unless you've got really, really bendy toe joints, but you should feel a whole heap of muscles turn on. And with the hands, push into the knuckles, the L shape of the thumb and forefinger. Just do these little checks through the body. What's happening is the weight dumping into the wrists. Can you move it forward slightly? Stay with it. She says, walking around, not in plank. Stay with the breath. There is the option when you are in plank. I don't give it very often. You can lower the knees to the mat and just keep the shoulders forward so you're in half plank. Just staying for a couple more breaths. Do it on forearms, Anna, if it's annoying wrists. That's another option. Good. Take a nice deep breath in. Push straight back to downward dog. Just use this as your rest for a moment. I haven't forgotten the chaturanga. Good. Inhale forwards to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhaling Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale to Ardha Mukha Svanasana and come back to your breath. Just observing again, were you present in each part of the transitions? Or just quickly trying to get to the one that you know is comfortable? I know what I do. When we stay present in each part of the flow, it actually becomes easier in a very roundabout kind of way. We become more aware, the right muscles start to turn on, and eventually it makes the flow much stronger and much easier. Initially, it's harder. On your inhale, step forwards, coming into your flat back. Exhaling, fold down to Uttanasana. Inhaling, rise up to standing, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hands to the heart center. And inhaling, floating your arms up, so lengthen as you lift. Exhale, keep that length as you fold forwards to Uttanasana. Inhaling, lift to your flat back. Exhaling, step back, Chaturanga, or knees, chest and chin. Inhale to upward dog. Exhale, back to your downward dog. So here on your inhale, float your right leg up to a three-legged dog. As you exhale, rock forwards to three-legged plank and bring the right knee to the right shoulder. Yeah, right up to the shoulder. Inhale, take it back. More up to the shoulder than the elbow. Exhale, shoulder. Right knee to right shoulder. Inhale, back. Exhale, right knee to right shoulder. See if you can get it all the way up. Up, 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 up. Exhale, back. Inhale, lower the foot to the mat, or exhale, I've lost it. Inhale, take the left leg up. Exhaling, left knee to left shoulder. See if you can get it up. Inhale, back. Exhale, left knee to left shoulder. Tuck, 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 more shoulder. Good, take it back. Exhale, knee to shoulder. Shoulder, shoulder, shoulder. Got some funny shoulders. Inhale, take it back. Exhale, foot to the mat and come back to your breath. We're going to work on the shoulders. They're one joint up from the elbow. Are you guys all right with the heaters on at the back? Or are you dying? It's quite real. We can turn them down. On your inhale, step forwards, come into your flat back, or we'll just do hot yoga. Exhaling, fold down to Uttanasana. Inhaling, rise up to standing, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhaling, hands to the heart center. Inhaling, take the arms up. Exhale, swan dive forwards to Uttanasana. So stay present in the flow. Inhale to your flat back. Exhaling, step back, Chaturanga. See if you can slow this down and take the length of the exhale. Inhale, transition to your upward dog. Exhale, back to your downward dog. Inhaling, float the right leg up. On the exhale, three-legged plank, this time right knee to right elbow. Inhaling, take it back. Exhaling, knee down the midline to the nose or forehead. Inhaling, take it back. Exhaling across the midline to the left elbow. See if you can get them to touch. Inhale, take it back. Exhaling, lower the foot to the mat. Inhale, the left leg lifts. Exhale, left knee to left elbow. Inhaling, take it back. Exhale, knee to nose or forehead. Inhale, back. Exhale, knee to right elbow. See if you can get them to touch. Inhaling back. Exhale, lower the foot to the mat and come back to your breath. And on your inhale, step forwards, come into your flat back. Exhaling, fold down to Uttanasana. Inhaling, rise up to standing, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hands to the heart center. Inhaling, sit back to Utkatasana. So have a look down, make sure you can see your toes. Exhale and forward fold. Inhaling, flat back. Exhaling, step back, Chaturanga. Inhale to your upward dog. Exhale, back to your downward dog. Inhale the right foot forwards, ground through the left heel, take the arms up, Virabhadrasana 1. Exhaling, lower the hands to the mat, step back, Chaturanga or knees, chest and chin. Inhale to upward dog. Exhale, back to your downward dog. Inhaling the left foot forward so the right heel comes to the mat, Virabhadrasana 1. Exhaling, lower the hands to the mat, step back, Chaturanga. Inhaling to upward dog. Exhaling back to your downward dog and come back to your breath. So observe changes in the breath, changes in the body. Heat can get annoying. See if you can just relax into it. We want to build that heat in the body to help to burn through our stuff. So just feel it. On your inhale, step forwards, come into your flat back. Exhaling, fold down to Uttanasana. Inhaling, bend the knees, sweep the arms up to Utkatasana. Exhaling, come to stand, hands to the heart center. Your wrists okay? Okay, do a cat, I'll do it with you. Inhaling, sit back to Utkatasana. Exhale, forward fold. So do this variation instead. Inhale to your flat back. Exhaling, step back, Chaturanga. So just lower the knees to the mat. Inhaling to upward dog. Do it. Look out. Exhaling back to downward dog and then round and push back. Yeah. Good. Inhale, step the right foot forwards, Virabhadrasana 1. Always a good option if your wrist hurt. Exhaling, lower the hands to the mat, step back, Chaturanga. Inhaling to upward dog. Exhaling back to downward dog. Inhale the left foot forwards, Virabhadrasana 1. So really root that back foot. Exhaling, lower the hands to the mat, step back, Chaturanga. You won't have sore hips by the end of this, guys, you're fine. Inhale to upward dog. Exhale back to your downward dog and come back to your breath. Such a satisfying looking downward dog. I want to be in it. And on your inhale, step forwards, come into your flat back. Exhaling, fold down to Uttanasana. Bend your knees. Inhale, come up to Utkatasana. Exhaling, come to stand, hands to the heart center. So hopefully you can all remember last week's flow because you're doing it unguided. I'm joking. Helen, you weren't here, so just go with this. It gets a bit complicated. We're doing it 3 rounds. So the first round is slow, then it goes a little bit faster, and then we just do it with the breath. So go with. And there's another posture added in, just for fun. The arms down by your side into Tadasana. Inhaling, sit back to Utkatasana. Exhale, forward fold. Inhaling, flat back. Exhaling, step back, Chaturanga. Inhale to upward dog. Exhale back to your downward dog. Inhaling, step the right foot forwards and come into your high lunge. So be present. That inhale is quite long. So we place the feet. Notice what's going on with the feet as we've got these few breaths holding it. So the back heel up towards the ceiling. Upwards, so you're on the toes. Yeah. Good. Engage the back foot. Take a nice deep breath in. And on your exhale, fold forwards and come into Virabhadrasana 3. So the arms can be out in front, by the heart, out to the side, wherever you want them to be. And breathe. Find more length from the back foot to the crown of the head. Use your bandhas. On your inhale, slowly coming up to standing, bringing that left leg out in front. And as you exhale, sit down into Garudasana. So you bring your feet, and then you cross the right arm on top of the left. Lift the elbows, draw the hands away from the face. And smile. And breathe. None of this is worth anything if we're not breathing. Good. From here, on your inhale, engage the core and step back into your warrior 2. So we turn the gaze over the middle right finger. Again, back foot. Build the posture from the back foot up. So really rooting into the back leg, let it anchor you. Feel into the front foot. As you push into the back foot, see if you can soften into the front leg just a little bit more, go a little bit deeper. Use the bandhas to then draw the energy up out of the hips. Inhaling, reach forwards. Exhaling, open out to Parsvakonasana. That was my hip clicking. So taking the bind, if you take the bind, otherwise elbow to knee, and take the left arm over your head. Whichever variation you're in, turn the gaze up towards the ceiling. Good. Inhaling, come through your warrior two, turn the right palm up. Exhale, take it back to a reverse warrior. So keep strong in the back leg, good bend in the front leg. Good. Inhaling, come back to your warrior two. Transfer the weight onto the front foot and lift the back leg. So turning the palms to face the side of the room and slowly open out into Ardha Chandrasana. Doesn't matter if you don't reach the floor, just go down to where it feels okay, but stay connected to your core. That back foot, I'm always nagging about it, but use the back foot, maybe here today, maybe this is it. Good, moving from your core as you inhale, step back into your warrior two, lightly. Exhaling, lower the hands to the mat, step back, chaturanga. Inhaling to upward dog. We've got to do it loads more times, so there's practice. Exhale back to downward dog. Inhaling the left foot forwards, come into your high lunge. So when we place the feet, we place them. We try not to just stomp them down. We place and we observe. What's going on with the foot? Draw the energy back up the legs. So back toes. Are the back feet active? Spread the toes. Yeah. Lift through the bandhas. So Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha. Is there tension through the shoulders? Can we soften the tension? Take a nice deep breath in. And on the exhale, transfer the weight forwards, coming into Virabhadrasana 3. So again, arms to the side, out in front, hands in front of the heart in prayer, whichever feels nice today. You don't have to come all the way forwards. Maybe your warrior 3 is here. If this is where it feels strong and connected, then that's good. Inhaling, slowly coming up, crossing the right leg over the left into Garudasana, left arm over the right. Lift the elbows and draw the hands away from the face. And breathe. Yeah, hug the thighs. So keep the bend in the standing leg and just hug the thighs together. Inhaling, step back into your warrior 2. So you're turning to the right. Root through the feet and settle. I like which leg? It could have gone either way. I have been in yoga classes like that where the teacher does these whole things around the mat. I got to say it's confusing. I'm like, no. So inhale, reaching forwards. Exhaling, open out. So elbow to knee or taking the bind if you bind, whichever you work with. Back leg straight, front leg bent. Length through the side body. Yeah, so bend this knee more. See if you can bend it more. Get into those tight hips, the hiking hips. Inhaling, come back up through your warrior 2. Turn the left hand up. Exhale, take it back to your reverse warrior. So the front knee stays bent. Back leg stays straight. That warrior stance from the hips down doesn't change. Good. Inhaling, come back up to your warrior two. Transfer the weight onto the front foot. Turn the palms to face forwards. And then open out slowly. So this back leg, get it connected or else it's like a dead wobbly weight. Connect into the core. And slowly come down. You don't have to reach the floor. You can just tip to a few degrees. Back foot, Helen. Active, 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 back foot. Good. On the inhale, step quietly back into your warrior two. Exhaling, lower the hands to the mat. Step back, chaturanga. Inhaling to upward dog. Exhaling back to your downward dog. Ardha Chandrasana, that half moon pose, is a classic posture where we're always one step ahead mentally because we're always like, let me get to the floor, let me get to the floor. When you think and you look down at the floor and you think, let me get to the floor, guess what your energy does? Drops to the floor. If you stay present in your core and present in your body, and you just happen to be moving in that direction, but if your intention is to stay present in your body, it's a less wobbly transition down to the floor. Sometimes the hip flexibility doesn't allow you to get to the floor, so don't go that far. That's why we use blocks sometimes, but today we're not. So on your inhale, step forwards, come into your flat back. Exhaling, fold down to Uttanasana. Bend your knees, inhale, come up to Utkatasana. Exhale, come to stand, hands to the heart center. Does it make sense, that transition thing, what I'm saying? Because the thing is, this is my arch nemesis posture. I'm not supposed to say I like or dislike a yoga posture. I thoroughly dislike this one. Always have. Didn't teach it for years because I hated it. But then I worked out so I was trying to get to the floor too quickly. And I was like, I didn't fall in love with the posture. Sometimes this is your posture. This is nice. This is a nice posture. It's strong. You know, I'm in all of my body holding it. If I immediately am like this, immediately my back foot turned off, my core turned off, I dumped the weight into my hip, and I lost the connection here. So I lost my body in trying to get into the posture, which defeats the entire point of the posture. So why we do yoga, I just don't know. Let's just not bother. But it's mindful, it's being mindful. And it's staying present in each part and each transition. So as we go into it now, and it's that energetic direction. And these are all the things that we should be thinking about in yoga, instead of, why could I do it last week? And why am I wobbling so much? And whether all the crap that we do think, everything is coming from here or coming to here, depending on what you're doing. So you think, well, what am I doing with my energy? Well, I'm extending here. I want my fingertips turned on, so they're holding themselves. I want my feet active, and I'm drawing the energy back up, and I'm pulling my hips into my midline, so I'm connected. You want to feel the toes, feel the fingertips, feel the whole thing, not so rigidly that you can't breathe. There's a strength and there's a softness, and what we're searching for is that combination between the two of them. Yeah? Good. So we'll do it again. Yay. Inhaling, sit down to Utkatasana. Exhale, forward fold. Inhaling to your flat back. Exhaling, step back, chaturanga. So slow it down. Inhale to upward dog. Exhale, back to your downward dog. Inhaling, step the right foot forwards, come into your high lunge. So as you step, place mindfully the feet, connect, draw the energy up, up. And do a little scan. As we're holding it here, what can you soften? Everybody's shoulders dropped an inch. Yeah, but this is what we want to do, soften. Can the breath flow? Take a nice deep breath in. And exhaling, fold halfway forwards, lift the back leg. You still want to pay attention to what those back toes are up to. come into Virabhadrasana 3. So wherever the arms are, either pressing the palms lightly together or lengthening, activate the fingers. Activate the back foot to the crown of the head and find more length. Inhale, slowly coming up to standing, and exhaling, sit back to Garudasana. So the right arm comes on top again. Lift the elbows, draw the hands away from the face. Hug, so bend the standing leg. If they don't cross, you just do that. But bend, more bend, cross. Good, release, inhale, step back into your warrior 2. So build it from the feet. Draw the energy up. What can you soften? How can you go a little bit deeper into it? Inhaling, reach forwards. Exhaling, open out to Parsvakonasana. So either elbow to knee or take the bind if you did before. Good, release the bind. Inhale, come back through your warrior 2. Exhaling back to the reverse warrior. So staying low in that front knee. Breathe. There's no energy if there's no breath. So breathe. Inhale, coming back up to your warrior 2. Transfer the weight to the right foot. Now take a while. Flex the back foot. Keep Pada Bandha active. Tummy button back towards the spine. Just feel your way down. Good. And on your inhale, step lightly back into your warrior 2. Exhaling, lower the hands to the mat, step back, chaturanga. Can you feel the difference though? Inhaling to upward dog. Exhaling back to your downward dog. Inhaling the left foot forwards, come into your high lunge. So place the foot. Use the length of the inhale to lengthen up and soften. We're too rigid. We stick the breath. The energy can't flow. So we create the posture, the structure, and within that we flow with the breath. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhaling, fold halfway forwards and transition to warrior 3. So here, you don't have to tip all the way forward. Sometimes this is nice. Good. Inhaling, come up to standing, bring the leg out in front. And exhale, sit down to Garudasana, bringing the left arm on top of the right. Lift the elbows, draw the hands away from the face. Good. On your inhale, release, step back lightly to your warrior 2. Exhale and soften. Stressed out warriors. Shimmy it out. Yeah. Jazz hands, warrior. Good. Inhale, reach forwards. I shouldn't be teaching today. Exhaling, open out to Parsvakonasana. It's been a shocker of a day. I'm like brain all over the shop. It's fine. Breathe. As long as we're all here and we're all breathing, we are all good. Yes. Inhaling, come back through your warrior 2. Turn the left palm up. And exhale, take it back to your reverse warrior. So bending that front knee. Find some more length in the waist. Inhale, come back up to your warrior 2. Transfer the weight to the left foot. Lift the right foot. Fingertip to fingertip. Jazz hands. Core. And then slowly coming down. You can look towards the floor. As you look towards the floor, think up into your top hand. Think into the back foot. So your drishti will anchor you to the floor and help with the balance, but you don't just dump all your energy there. Your intention takes it through the whole body. Good. Inhaling, step back into your warrior 2. Exhaling, lower the hands to the mat, step back, chaturanga. Inhale to upward dog. Exhale back to your downward dog. and hold. So this next round we're going to do in time with the breath. So it's a continuous flow. So really being present in each part of the transition helps with the wobbles. Good. On your inhale, step forwards, come into your flat back. Exhaling, fold down to Uttanasana. Bend your knees, inhale, come up to Utkatasana. Exhaling, come to stand, hands to the heart center. Inhaling, sit back to Utkatasana. Exhale and forward fold. Inhaling to your flat back. Exhaling, step back, Chaturanga. Inhale to upward dog. Exhale back to your downward dog. So inhaling, step the right foot forwards, placing the feet, come into your high lunge. Exhaling, fold forwards to Virabhadrasana 3. Inhaling, come up to standing, bring the left leg out in front. Exhale to Garudasana. Inhaling, step back to your warrior 2. As you exhale, soften. Inhale, reach forwards. Exhale, open out, Parsvakonasana, bind if you can. Inhale, coming back up through warrior 2. Exhaling back to your reverse warrior. Inhale, coming up to warrior 2. Transfer the weight to the front foot. Exhale, go as far as you can into Ardha Chandrasana. Inhale, step back into your warrior 2. Exhaling, lower the hands to the mat, step back, Chaturanga. It's easier, faster. Inhale to upward dog. Exhale back to your downward dog. Inhaling the left foot forwards, high lunge. Exhaling, fold forwards, Virabhadrasana 3. Inhaling, come up to standing. Exhaling, sit back to Garudasana. Inhaling, step back into your warrior 2. Exhale and soften. Inhale, reach forwards. Exhaling, opening out, Parsvakonasana. Inhale, come back up through warrior 2. Exhale to reverse warrior. Inhale, come forwards, step forwards onto the left foot. And exhale, open out into Ardha Chandrasana. Inhaling, step back into your warrior 2. Exhaling, lower the hands to the mat, step back, Chaturanga. Inhaling to upward dog. Exhale back to your downward dog. And come back to your breath. Go to child's pose for a couple of breaths if you want to. Observe the body. Observe the breath. The last few breaths here. And so making your way back into your downward dog if you're in child's pose. On your inhale, step forwards, come into your flat back. Exhaling, fold down to Uttanasana. Bend your knees, inhale up to Utkatasana. Exhaling, come to stand, hands to the heart center. So take the feet a little bit wider than hip distance. Hands to the hips. This is going to seem like a breeze. Inhaling, roll the shoulders back. So here we get an extension of the spine, a gentle back bend. Keep that extension as you hinge from your hips and fold forward, staying in that extension for as long as you can. And then allowing the spine to round and taking the yogi grip on the toes. So 2 forefingers around the big toes. Tread onto the forefingers as you inhale, look forwards, lift the kneecaps and push the tops of the thighs back. And on the exhale, pull your forehead towards your shins. And breathe. So if you can push the breath all the way down to the heels. Good. Last couple of breaths. Good. And then releasing the bind on your inhale, hands to the hips, come up to standing. Arms down by your side into Tadasana. So coming to the top of the mat. Inhaling, floating the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to your flat back. Exhaling, step back, chaturanga. Inhaling to upward dog. Exhale, back to your downward dog. So from here, we're going to float the right leg, bending the right knee, bring the right knee down the midline towards the wrists, turn out from the hip. So your right knee comes behind your right wrist, and then walk the left leg back, coming down into your pigeon pose. This will be great if you've been hiking around Cornwall or running around the Dorset Cliffs, whatever you may have been doing. So walk the hands back alongside the hips. Again, find that length through the spine. See if you can create just a little bit more space between the vertebrae. See if you can lift the gaze just a little bit up to the top corner. If you want to take the arms up, you can take both arms up. Or one arm. And then swap it onto the other arm. Try and be light on your fingertips. Yes. Good. And then bring the hands back to the mat, tuck the back toe, lift up your back knee, step back to your downward dog. So floating the left leg, bend the left knee, bring it down the midline, and then turning out from the hip. Yeah, other left knee. Like the right one, but the other one. So walking that, watch out for that right leg as well. This back leg, it's not that much, Rachel, I think you're all right. So when there's tightness in the hips, the back leg will try and wander off to the side to create a bit more space. And you're like, no, come back in line with the hip. So have a little glance. See if you can untuck your back toe, Helen. How does it feel? All right. And again, play around with the arms. Find that extra space in the spine. When we come into these gentle extensions, these are really strong. They take a lot of strength in the back and the core. So if lifting the arms, it dumps all the weight into the lower back, don't go there. Just try one arm and focus on lifting. Is that hurting your knee, Helen? It's just like, absolutely not. No, you've done the right thing. Stay like that, exactly like that. Then lower the hands to the mat, tuck the back toes, step back into your downward dog and hold it here. These yoga postures were very cleverly designed to creep into bits that other exercise postures don't do. That's why they're so clever. They're sneaky. Good. So lowering down to your knees. So from here, we're going to sit back onto the heels. Just bring your hands to rest onto your thighs for a moment. Again, nice tall spine. We're going to come into camel pose, so Ustrasana. The first variation we're going to do, we're not even going to try and go for the heels. We're going to work on the lengthening and the strengthening. And this is probably the harder version. So we're going to get it out of the way first. But what we're doing, we're going to start here with the hands rested to the back of the hips. So this helps you to lengthen the tailbone down. We're then going to just slowly come back into a very gentle extension of the spine. And what I want you to search for in your back is an evenness of sensation through the spine. So if it's all in the bottom, you need to work more on pushing a chest up, or coming up very slightly and lifting. If it's all in the top and you're really working deep into the top, go back a bit until you can feel it evenly into the back. But when you've found your position, you're going to hold it there just for 5 breaths, yeah? If you want to make it harder, so you've got the hands to the backs of the hips, you can take the hands just underneath to the top of the thighs. If you want to make it harder, you can try taking arms up. But when you take the arms up, you need to keep that evenness of sensation through the spine and not just go into your lower back, yeah? So please listen to your bodies, not doing what the person next to you is doing. Yeah? Awesome. Come up onto your knees. I've got such a little limb, I can't actually see what she's doing. So from here, hands to the backs of the hips. So you want to roll the shoulders back and draw the elbows in together. That alone is an external rotation of the upper arm and supports the lengthening of the upper back. So keep that. Take a nice breath in as you lengthen through the spine. And on the exhale, start to go into a gentle back bend. You can walk the hands down just underneath your bottom to the tops of the thighs. But find the back bend. You can keep chin to chest if you want to, if the back of the neck feels strained. Find that evenness of sensation through the spine. And then see if you can take the weight away from the hands just a little bit, even if they're still on the body. So you're not dumping into the arms. So Jenny, more chest forward. There. Yes. So really roll this back. So you're looking to, it's an external rotation. Yeah. If you want to take the arms up, you can take the arms up. Good, so now chest, yeah, that. Good. And then slowly come back up. Sit back to your heels. Hands to the thighs, relax. How did that feel? You can feel, can't you, the minute you lift the arms up, yeah. And it's intention, all of it is intention. The minute you just think posture, you drop. But the minute you take your intention, because you went up, and suddenly it just lifts. So you've got to direct your energy, because the intention directs it. It's so powerful. And it's something that you listen, we listen so much to teachers, and we tell you, push in that direction, do in that direction. But that's where you can almost sometimes become too reliant on your teacher to cue you. And then it's not your practice. It's still valid and it's still good. And when it's a posture you don't know and you're learning and you don't know the direction to move in, great, listen to your teacher, unless it hurts, in which case ignore us. But starting to really take it into your body and feel the sensations in your body, the subtle ones, the big ones, and use your movement and your intention to change that, it becomes your practice. That's when it's a deep practice. That to me is an advanced practice. I don't care whether you can do the splits or stand on your head. It's an advanced practice when you've gone in. You know, there's hardly any postures are required for an advanced yoga practice. Advanced asana practice, different ball game. I don't do that, you know, but really keeping that awareness. So we're going to go for the feet now, if you want to. If you want to stay with that variation, and if you want to play around working in that variation, stay with it. But otherwise, you're trying to keep that evenness of posture all the time, which depends on how your back bends. So if you kind of get to here and you're like, I can probably nearly get my heels, but I'm sinking into my lower back a bit, just tip the hips back a little bit, take hold of them. And then when you push forwards, don't push from the hips, push from the chest. When you push from the chest forwards, the hips will come forwards. then you're working into the upper back. When you push from the hips forwards, did I say it the right way around? Yeah. When you push from the hips forwards, you can just jar into the lower back. So pushing forwards, push from the upper back and the shoulder blades, and the hips will naturally migrate forwards, yeah? That little lean back's fine. We're then just avoiding the twists. So let's come up. It's a nice posture. It's a strong posture. Hands to the backs of the hips. So roll the shoulders back, draw the elbows in together. It encourages an external rotation. Nice deep breath in as you lengthen. Keep the back of the neck long. And then walk the hands down to the tops of the thighs. We're going to do a midway check-in. Good. And then roll the shoulders back. So keep chin to chest to start with. And then walk the hands back down a little bit further. Yeah. So the head goes back last. When you're ready, go for your heels. Observe what's going on with the neck. If it feels like you've got no control and the head's just dropped back, tuck your chin to your chest and just look up towards the front corner of the room. Now, if you want to, you can try taking one arm up and back. Be mindful of twisting because you can tweak. You've got to be strong in this. Swap onto the other hand. Good. And then slowly, so lifting from the chest up, sit back to the heels, close your eyes, hands to the thighs. How do lower backs feel? Good? Inflexible is fine. No pinching. Good. Yeah. If you've got tightness on the chest and around the diaphragm, really hard. You're asking for a lot of opening. And if here is protective and tight, this is vulnerable and open. And it doesn't want to do it. So it's fine. So you just go to the edge, you play with that edge and just use the breath to soften into it rather than trying to force into it. Yeah, totally. Yeah. If it's post-COVID, yeah, totally. It will. So just back out. The thing is, post-illness, whether it's all of these postures and yoga in general, your nervous system reacts, fight or flight, rest or digest. And if it's had trauma, it goes into fight or flight. If it's been ill, it's going into rescue mode. It's doing all of this. You need your nervous system to go into rest and digest, and it heals the body, because that's what it does. That's how it heals. The nervous system relaxes, the body goes, I'm safe, and it heals. We don't let that happen very often as humans. We tend to stay in fight or flight, not on purpose, but just due to society and life and stuff. And we end up staying in that slight space of fight or flight. When we get on our yoga mats, this is why the breath is so important. If you are doing a panting breath throughout the whole practice, you think, what's your nervous system doing? It's going into fight or flight. There's nothing wrong with doing a practice like that, as long as you're doing it with awareness. That's where you're like, bang, I need to get it out today. Do it, but be aware what you're doing to your nervous system. If you're then coming into deep postures, deep holds, and there's been any, an illness, it's a trauma on the lungs you've had, you need the nervous system to be calm in order to allow the body to open. When we come into a forward fold in a second, you need the body to be calm, or else it's not going to open, it's going to pull back. So the breath. If you get into a posture and you can't breathe properly, your nervous system will kick off. It will go, whoa, not safe, don't like it, not safe, not safe. The posture becomes unsafe. So you back out. It doesn't matter if you could do it pre-COVID. It's now this body is recovering. You know, it's like these two hiking. You're going to march around Cornwall Cliffs all weekend. Pigeon pose is going to hurt. But this is what we do. And it doesn't matter. Who cares? Really? It's all a little experiment. So come to sit with the legs out in front. You know, this classic, just deep stretches are a classic of this. If you want the hamstrings to release, my advice is do not what we were taught, do what we were taught and bounce and do this. Because the body goes, whoa, hold on a second, what are you doing? And you can force the muscles to release, you can force them, but they're more likely to tear because they're like, whoa, not safe. If you want a yogic approach to opening them, you go and meet the edge. And you're like, today's my edge. I'm at my edge today, I like it. And you breathe into it and you let the body soften and the body will invite you to go deeper. It will invite you and invite you and invite you, or it will just stop. It will go no. So have a little bend in your knees if you need to. It really is. Yoga is about working smarter and not harder. So sitting up tall, knees and toes pointing up towards the ceiling. Nice tall spine. As you inhale, take the arms up. And as you exhale, fold forward. So see if you can take hold of the feet. So you can keep the bend in the legs. Keep the length through the spine. Yeah. And then what you do is you slowly will work them down. What we're trying to avoid is just overstretching the back and sitting like this. You can try and stretch your hamstrings for 20 years and get nowhere like this. So a little bend in the knees. Communicate to your hamstrings. Communicate with your words. It's okay to release. It's safe. Communicate with your muscles. So the opposing muscle groups in the body, the quads, you know, the fronts of the shins, pulling the toes back a bit. Communicate by activating the front of the legs, which tells the body we're safe, there's some control in this posture. Communicate with the breath. Good long exhalation. Sigh out the tension in the body. Some people get it that we are no longer the last couple of breaths. So you can also use your drishti in these postures. You look forwards and you will lengthen forwards. Our energy goes where our intention goes, where our drishti goes, which is your gaze, if that's a word you're not used to. So slowly release the feet and come back up to sitting. Now we're going to come into my other arch nemesis posture. Take the legs wide. Just enjoy that really nice tight feeling. And the thing is, sometimes this is enough to just stay here for a bit. So sitting up nice and tall. So Rachel, rock forwards on your sitting boat. Yeah. So what you can actually do, what we were always taught to do, was grab your butt flesh. It's the thing. Pull it out back behind you. The only downside to the butt grab is fascia. It's not a very yogic term, but what you don't want to be doing is pulling the fascia as well. So don't pull as much of your bum out the way as you can, because actually you're then tightening up through the connective tissue and the fascia as well. It's more of a little nudge in the direction of just encouraging onto the top of the sitting bones a little bit. Knees and toes pointing straight up. Bend in the knees if you need to. and sit up tall. So that bend is absolutely fine. Inhale, taking the arms up. So waist lifts up out the hips. Exhale, fold halfway forwards or a bit of the way forwards. Meet your resistance. Now look forwards and inhale and lengthen and reach up towards the top of the room. Push down through the thighs. Exhale, fold a little bit further. So again, we've met that bunched up bit. So put the hands to the mat if you want to, if your arm's tired. Push down into the tops of the thighs. On your inhale, pull all that bunched up energy up out of the hips. And exhale, fold a little bit further. Inhale, push down through the thighs. Lengthen. Exhale, fold. So just breathe your way into it. The breath and the intention. So you can find your kind of like, yeah, just about reach where I'm good at today, and just breathe into it. Don't try and go further. Use the breath to massage. Breathe all the way down, right the way into that connective tissue on the inside of the thighs. I can't think what that bit's called, but breathe into it. This pranic energy that we breathe travels all the way within the body and outside the body through the nadis, the energetic channels. So we can direct it as we breathe. And slowly come back up to sitting. So bringing the legs in front. So crossing the left leg under and the right leg over. Make sure both sitting bones are evenly down onto the mat. Use blocks to sit if they're not. Yeah. It's good for tight hips. So taking the right hand behind you. As you inhale, root down through the sitting bones and lengthen up. So the twist comes from the rib cage. Exhale, twist from the rib cage around and then hook the elbow. Now, as you inhale, lengthen up through the crown of the head and then keeping the neck long, turn the gaze over towards the back shoulder. Again, you breathe into it. You root down through the sitting bones and inhale to lengthen. You exhale to deepen the twist. And down, inhale, come back to face forwards. Change the cross of the legs. So both sitting bones down to the mat equally. Left hand behind you on the mat. Inhale, take the right arm up. So we lengthen, lift through the spine. Exhale, twist from the rib cage. Hook the elbow. Use that little lever. Inhale, lengthen up through the crown of the head, back of the neck long. And exhale, turn the chin over towards the left shoulder. I like to imagine that when you're inhaling, there's little balloons. The discs are like little balloons between the vertebrae. And that you're just inflating them a little bit more. Inhaling, come back to face forwards. So straightening your legs out, either coming into a short Shavasana, it's going to be a very short Shavasana, or seated meditation, whichever you want to finish with. If you're going into Shavasana, really let go. Let go of the practice. Let go of any ideas you have about the practice. Let go physically and just allow the breath to breathe you.
The invitation is not to show how intensely and magically you are, but how much you can meditate with the regular. Care about those that are around. Look out for their well-being, looking out for your own. That's it. And then you'll get to the end of it having had a awesome knowing that was something you'd recommend to others.
So just bringing focus back to your body, giving your fingers and toes a wiggle. And gently hug your knees in towards your chest. A little rock from side to side. And roll over onto your right side and gently come up to sitting. So bringing your hands in front of your heart center into prayer. And we'll close chanting 3 Oms together. So taking a nice breath in for Om.